Meanwhile, the silent man and his gang returned to their KTS. All that was left is to contact the customer on the darknet and schedule a meeting. But the best fighters of the elite security group were sent to rescue the cat from the hands of the kidnapper. They already knew Hello Kitty's location. The feline special forces drove up to the silent man's gang's cottage. A van with a machine gun the roof took up a combat position right in front of the house. Operatives and 2 jeeps blocked the road from both sides. Silent Man's cottage was equipped with a modern security system that monitors any suspicious movements near the house. As soon as Silent Man arranged a meeting with the customer, a motion sensor began to sound the alarm on the monitor screen. The guys saw that the feline special forces were preparing to storm their mansion. Silent Man immediately realized that a GPS tracker was hidden in the cat's pendant. But it was too late. The head of Hello Kitty's security service gave the order to the machine gunner on the roof of the van. The punitive operation began. But the silent gang also had something to respond to the hostile raiders. After the machine gun fired, special forces squads were deployed. Each was given a specific order. At that moment, the brawler's Yugal ran to hold the defense on the second floor, while the silent one and the villager remained on the first. It was necessary to urgently lower the protective shutters. The Alpha Squad operatives managed to jump into the house before closing. The sentry came under fire. The silent one heard the sound of the gunfire and flew into the room. In the room, he discovered the lifeless body of his friend, the merry fellow. For the Beta Squad, the shutters came as complete surprise. The operatives had to change tactics on the fly. Stray bullets from the brawler and Yugal shooting from the second floor caught the cat like machine gunner. The head of the special forces, Masita, was shocked. It became obvious to her that everything was not going according to the plan. The Beta Squad reached the roof and prepared to enter the house through the chimney. The Yugal brawlers heard the footsteps of their opponents overhead. The boys made a decision, randomly shooting at the ceiling. Trained special forces tried to dodge the bullets, but in the end, they still died. Before their death, one operative threw a grenade down the chimney. They didn't expect such a guy at all. The silent one heard an explosion on the second floor. He remembered that he had a whole bag of grenades stashed in the closet. When the grenades were already in his hands, a great idea came to the silent one's head. The explosion of the bag of grenades was incredibly powerful. Several more special forces cats were neutralized until the last moment. The silent one didn't lose hope that he had fought and that Cole managed to survive. But when he ran to the scene of the massacre, he realized that there was no trace left of the guys. The PlayStation supplies were also destroyed. The guy lost all his friends and a successful criminal business. The only thing he had left was the ill-fated cat, which had to be delivered to the customer at all costs. The head of the cat special forces, Masika, miraculously managed to survive. She saw a hole in the wall and ran into the house for the cat. Masita and Silent met face to face, and a fierce battle for the Hello Kitty cat began. The Silent One was about to deliver the final blow, but was struck by the sweet face of Masita. He couldn't imagine that such a beauty was hiding her face behind the mask of the head of the Special Forces. The dumbfounded one couldn't bring himself to finish her off. The guy dropped the sword and took the cat, then ran to the kitchen to open a secret passage into the sewers in case for an emergency escape. The guy had a motorboat in stock in the sewer. The Silent One jumped into the boat, started the engine, and sailed to meet with the cat's customer. Soon, cops, firefighters, and ambulances arrived at the scene of the incident in the mansion. The fire department extinguished the fire. A couple of paramedics carried out the bodies of the dead Special Forces soldiers. Well, the cops, led by Officer Pedro, managed to arrest Masita, who had already recovered after the fight with the Silent One. The cops took the girl to the station for good. Suddenly, two people followed them. They didn't stand on ceremony when they were driving a speeding jeep to the feline Special Forces, and immediately began aggressively ramming it. Officer Pedro was shocked by what these big-eared bullies were doing to law enforcement. Pedro realized he needed to stop and solve this problem. Officer Pedro went to deal with the outlaws. Two feline Special Forces operatives came out to meet him. The cop began threatening to arrest them for such behavior on the road. The combat cat lovers didn't care about the threats. They demanded that Pedro release Masita and forget about her forever. Pedro couldn't believe his ears. He tried to arrest the insolent man. At that moment, his phone rang. The call was from the police chief himself. The chief ordered Pedro to release the girl. He said that very influential people had said so, and this order was not subject to discussion. Pedro couldn't do anything about it. He had to release Masita into the hands of the feline Special Forces. Farewell. Masita decided to troll him a little. The cat Special Forces left, and Officer Pedro began to have a severe battle. The meeting took place in the evening, at one of the industrial zones. On the outskirts of the city, Majima arrived, accompanied by two armed comrades. While the Silent One was completely alone and unarmed, with only a cat in his hand, Majima smiled slyly. But the Silent One was extremely serious. Of course, Majima had no intention of giving up the cat first. Majima understood the opponent's silent hints, and immediately threw a case of Sarah Bucks in the Silent One's direction. The case contained tightly packed Robux. Everything was fine. The deal was completed. Majima was pleased immediately afterwards. The Yakuza gangster offered a permanent job to the Silent One. The Silent One thought for a moment, but realized he had no job. The Yakuza extended his hand at the moment of the handshake. The Silent One noticed a painfully familiar tattoo on Majima's hand. Terrible flashbacks of that fateful day arose in the Silent One's head. Gangsters with the same tattoo killed his mother and blew up.